Good morning, guys. Welcome to the session. Let us start the session with a nice quote. What is today's quote? You only fail when you stop trying. When do you fail? You only fail when you stop trying. So, what does it mean? We should never stop trying. We have to keep on trying. And I would like to tell one more thing. When it comes to stop trying, giving up, usually I tell students one particular quote: winners never quit, and quitters never win. So you only fail when you stop trying. Never stop trying. A very useful quote while preparing for competitive exams. Let us go to, before that, welcome to the Hindu Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. Let us start with the headlines. The first headline, very unfortunate incident in Visakhapatnam. So how does it go? Gasping villagers rush out at dawn. Gasping villagers rush out at dawn. There are two words you can learn from this headline. One is gasping. Gasp is a verb. What does it mean? To breathe loudly and with difficulty, trying to get more air. Usually we use this when someone runs a lot, 5 kilometers. After running for 5 kilometers, the person gasps for breath. The typical expression, gasp for breath. So what is the meaning of the word gasp? To breathe loudly and with difficulty, trying to get more air. After that, there is one more word. It is an important word. Dawn. Gasping villagers rush out, means to come out of the houses. It is a phrasal verb, rush out, at dawn. So what is the meaning of the word dawn? Dawn means, please give me a minute. Dawn, that is an important word. The first appearance of light in the sky before sunrise. Before sunrise, you see light, and that time is known as dawn. And what is opposite of dawn? When you learn the word dawn, you have to learn the dusk. Dusk means what? The light that appears in the sky after the sunset. Before the sunrise, you can see that is dawn. After the sunset, still you can see that is dusk. These two are like antonyms, dawn and dusk. And there's a standard expression we usually say, he works dawn to dusk, means what? Morning to evening. The second headline, India taking all possible steps. Country is also fulfilling global obligations amid the COVID-19 pandemic, says the Prime Minister. There are two words you can learn. One is fulfill. That's an important word. To do something that is expected, hoped for, or promised. Usually it goes with one's duty. Fulfill your duties. Another typical combination, fulfill your responsibilities. The second important word, obligation. Obligation, something that a person feels morally or legally forced to do or bound to do. You're supposed to do something. Either it is your duty or you have promised to do it. Then we use the word obligation. That is also an important word. The third headline, rich state Telangana reels under double whammy. Rich state Telangana reels under double whammy. You all know the word reel, which goes with the movie world. But here the word reel, it is a verb. It has a different connotation. What does it mean? A reel has many meanings. One of the meanings which goes with everyday English, it means you feel something is going round and round. That is one meaning. Another meaning, for that we also use the word giddy or dizzy. Another meaning, you feel someone is not stable or something is not stable. We use the word reel. But in this context, to be confused or shocked and unable to act. A reel means what? To be confused or shocked and unable to act. You cannot think or act. And there's one more word, whammy. That's also an important word. Reel, a different connotation. Whammy means an event with a powerful and unpleasant effect. What is this headline about? Rich state Telangana reels under double whammy. That means it is confused or shocked, unable to act because of a double whammy. Whammy means what? An event with a powerful and unpleasant effect. The next headline, NDRF team evacuates 1,200 families. Chemical defense team deployed for rescue operation. NDRF team evacuates. I think we have got this word many a time. Evacuate, usually it goes with a natural disaster. Whenever there is a natural disaster, catastrophe, or a calamity, people are shifted from that place to a safer place. What is the meaning of evacuate? Remove from a place of danger to a safer place. Remove or shift people from a place of danger to a safer place. Usually it goes with the people. And deploy, this is also an important word. Move into position for military action, usually. The typical meaning of the word deploy, it goes with military action, but now it has got other connotations. Move into position, forget about this expression. Another meaning of that, to bring into effective action, deploy the resources, bring into effective action. In the context, the headline, Chemical Defense Team deployed for rescue operation. The team has been deployed means what? It has been brought into position, moved into position to meet any eventuality. That's what it means. And the word deploy, usually it goes with whenever there is a clash, whenever there is a fight, whenever there is some sort of disturbance in the city, then immediately the local government deploys the police force. That's what it means. The next headline, Air India's website poses a major hurdle. Hurdle is a word you can learn from this headline. What is the meaning of the word hurdle? A problem or difficulty that must be overcome. While preparing for competitive exams, you come across many hurdles, and you should overcome all those hurdles to emerge victorious. Hurdle. And you can also think of words like block, impediment, and a problem, something that stops your progress, that stops your development. Venezuela to try 2 Americans. They were captured during a failed raid. US vows to bring them back home. Vow means to make a determination or promise to do something. This is also an important word, but be careful with the pronunciation of that particular word. That's what you can learn from the headlines. Now let us go to effective English. What is there to learn from effective English point of view? There are 5 phrasal verbs. Break down 3 times. Phrasal verbs are rather confusing and difficult to handle. One of the reasons, the same phrasal verb may have 3 or 4 meanings. To prove that, to make you understand that, I have brought 2 phrasal verbs, but one has 3 meanings, another has 2 different meanings. And you should know all the meanings. That is one problem with phrasal verbs. And what is the other problem? The same verb, a different preposition, you have a new phrasal verb. For example, what is the verb here, break? If you take this verb break, you can, by changing the preposition, you can have about 8 to 10 new phrasal verbs. Break down, break in, break into, break away, break up, break out. They are all different phrasal verbs. They are very confusing. What is the reason? Same verb, a different preposition. So today you're going to work on these 2 phrasal verbs with different meanings. Break down and break in. They're very important from the exam point of view. And some of them go with effective English, and some of them go with everyday English. What are the 5 idioms you can learn or recollect or consolidate today? Learn the ropes. This goes with workplace. Hang by a thread. Everyday English or effective English. Get a pink slip. This goes with workplace. Right now it is in the limelight. A lot of people have been getting pink slips ever since the negative impact of COVID-19 or coronavirus. Move up in the world. This also goes with everyday English as well as effective English. All in a day's work. The word work itself tells you that it goes with workplace. Let us go to the editorial page and let us have a look at the 4 articles. What is the first one on the left? Toxic disaster. That's what we are going to discuss today. And the second short editorial, conduct slow but steady. Slow but steady. This is important from the exam point of view in the sense, in English, usually when there are 2 nouns and we use a conjunction to join those 2 nouns, obviously we have to use a plural verb. But the problem with English has rules, English has exceptions. English people, they consider certain things like 2 nouns as they consider 1 unit. Then we have to use a singular verb. For example, many competitive exams they have given slow and steady win the race. That is not correct. Slow and steady wins the race. What is the reason? The sentence is in present tense and 2 nouns, but they are considered 1 idea, 1 unit, because it is third person singular. We should add s or es to the verb. So always remember, slow and steady win the race is not correct. Slow and steady wins the race. That way it is important. And what is the main editorial? Conducting elections during a pandemic. I think in some state, I'm not quite sure, conducting elections during a pandemic, whether it is a good idea or a bad idea, and what are the ramifications of conducting elections during a pandemic. I think the article talks about that particular thing. The last article, India needs to enact a COVID-19 law. India needs, it is in present tense, so India needs to enact a COVID-19 law. What are the words you can learn from this editorial, the disaster? Toxic. Toxic means poisonous, important word. Disaster, you have got many a time. What does it mean? A calamity, natural disaster, natural calamity, catastrophe, another word, and also something very bad and not, people cannot take that, a disaster. A mishap, you can also think of misfortune or mishap, unfortunate incident. Pass out has got many meanings, but in this context, pass out means to become unconscious. I think you have got this phrasal verb already. Flee. Flee usually goes with thieves and police. When a thief sees a police, he flees. Flee means what? To run away. Two connotations. One, to run away from danger. In this context, to run away from danger. And another meaning of the word flee, to escape. That goes with thieves and fugitives. Horrific, something very bad and shocking. Horrific images. Overridden. Override is a word. Override has many meanings. And one of the meanings, supersede. Another meaning, someone takes a decision, someone else overrides, means what? That first decision is not considered. Grievously. Grievous means very serious. Grievously means very seriously. Chronic. Usually this goes with diseases. Chronic disease. Chronic malaria. Chronic TB. Means what? Lasting for a long time. Solatium. Solatium means compensation. And waivers. Waiver, waive off. Imagine someone takes money and a person has to pay the interest. He is not in a position to pay the interest, then he may request you to waive off the interest, means not to consider, forego. You can also think of the word forego. Now let us go to the editorial. An unfortunate incident that happened in Visakhapatnam. It is known as the City of Destiny. I would like to tell you guys, I belong to Visakhapatnam. I was born and brought up in Visakhapatnam. And this city, known as City of Destiny, it was the fastest developing city in 1982 in the entire world. 1981, it was Tokyo of Japan. 1982, Visakhapatnam of India. And 1983, Sao Paulo of Brazil. The fastest developing city, it had that distinction in the year 1982. And today also it is known as the City of Destiny, a very popular city and it is a popular tourist destination. What is this unfortunate incident? Toxic disaster. There are two words here, toxic. Toxic means what? Poisonous. And what is the other word? Disaster. A calamity, catastrophe, unfortunate incident, a mishap. You have to think of all these words. On Visakhapatnam gas leak. The gas leak tragedy is a reminder that safety is paramount when exiting the lockdown. Exiting the lockdown. We are in that phase where we are coming out of the lockdown. At this stage, an incident like this, an unfortunate incident like this, is definitely not a good thing. And what is important here? Safety is very important at this time. And safety is paramount. Already have got the word paramount, means what? Supreme importance. So, the gas leak tragedy is a reminder that safety is paramount when exiting the lockdown. The disasters, this editorial is all about the incident, unfortunate incident, who is responsible, what exactly happened, and what should be done in future, how to be careful, how to thwart incidents like these in the future, especially in the near future, because we are in a stage where, we have reached a stage where we are about to come out of this lockdown. The disastrous leak of a toxic chemical that has killed several people and left hundreds sick near Visakhapatnam in Andhra Pradesh comes as a shock to a nation struggling to cope with a prolonged lockdown. Now, what is the stage we have been going through? We have been struggling to cope with a prolonged lockdown. Lockdown, definitely, it's a struggle for millions of Indians, not only from lives point of view, but also from livelihoods point of view. At this juncture, at this stage, coming across something comes as a shock What comes as a shock? This unfortunate incident or this toxic disaster. The disastrous leak of a toxic chemical that has killed several people, that has killed present perpetrators and left hundreds, remember not hundred, hundreds of people, that's what it means, sick near Visakhapatnam in Andhra Pradesh, comes as a shock. Something comes as a shock means it is in present tense. To a nation, and right now what is the nation state? To a nation that is struggling, that is understood. A nation struggling to cope with a prolonged lockdown. There's one important word here, prolonged, means what? Extended, prolonged. Don't prolong the session. Means what? Don't extend the session. Residents of habitations around Gopalapatnam, close to the site where LG Polymers plant is located, passed out as the hazardous styrene vapor swept through the area at night. So what exactly happened? And who got affected? Not only people, animals also got, domestic animals have got affected. Residents of habitations, habitat, habitation. Remember these two words. What is the meaning of the word habitat? Habitat is a home of a particular plant or an animal. If you take an animal like black panther, the habitat of black panther is Amazon rainforest. Again, if you take birds of paradise, the habitat for birds of paradise, again the Amazon rainforest. Habitations, this goes with humans, people. Residents, we also use the word dwellings. You have to recollect the word dwellings. Residents of habitations around Gopalapatnam, close to the site where the LG Polymers plant is located, passed out. Pass out means what? To become unconscious in this context. Why? Why did they pass out? As a hazardous styrene vapor. Hazardous, dangerous. Hazardous means what? Dangerous styrene vapor swept through. What is the word here? Sweep. And what is the past form? Swept. Swept through the area at night. They were caught unawares. No one expected. And remember the expression, they were caught unawares. I have used one expression. That is an important expression. Several deaths took place as people tried to flee, and the chemical rendered them unconscious. Several deaths took place. Take place, past tense, took place. Means happened. Several deaths took place as, why did they take place? As people tried to flee. The word flee means to run away, to escape. Usually it has a negative connotation, but in this context it doesn't have a negative connotation. It is like a neutral thing. Because of some danger, someone wanted to run away or escape from the danger. Then we use the word flee. Several deaths took place as people tried to flee, and the chemical rendered them unconscious. Render means to make, to cause something happen. In this context, you could simply take the word make. The chemical made them unconscious. Try to substitute. The chemical rendered them unconscious. There are horrific stories. Horrific means shocking, very bad and shocking. What are these stories? There are horrific stories of people falling from buildings, one thing, or into wells, another thing, and ditches, into wells, into ditches, as they lost consciousness. The impact of this vapor, people tend to become unconscious, they tend to become blind, and because of these two factors, they may not know in which direction they are going and what they are getting into. Here, falling from buildings. Unfortunately, one medical student, I think he fell from a building and died. Very unfortunate. Falling from buildings. Another person, he fell into the well and ditches, narrow channels. So ditch means narrow channel. Usually I use this word when one person tries to help another person. Imagine there's a student who is not very good and he tries to depend on another student who is also not good. Obviously, a student means a learner. Then usually I use one quote from the Bible. What is it? When one blind man leads another blind man, both fall in a ditch. When one blind person leads another blind person, both fall in a ditch. So it is not a good thing. Ditches, here it means narrow channels, as they lost consciousness. They have become the first victims of the exit from the lockdown. This is a phase we are about to come out of the lockdown, and these people have become the first victims of the exit from the lockdown, when industrial units were allowed to resume their operations. You got this word, I think, yesterday. Resume means what? You start some work, you stop, you take a break. After the break, after a gap, you start the work Then you use the word resume. He stopped the work for tea and he resumed the work after the tea break. Styrene, the chemical involved in the disaster-struck plant. Grief-stricken, disaster-struck. Remember this. Disaster-struck plant, the unit that produces polystyrene products, is included in the schedule of the manufacture, storage, and import of hazardous chemical rules. It is in the list of hazardous chemicals. That's what it talks about. That particular product, what is that product? Styrene. The chemical involved in the disaster-struck plant that produces polystyrene products is included in the schedule of the manufacture, storage, and import of hazardous chemical rules, 1989. It's a dangerous, hazardous chemical. The rules lay down, this is an important expression, lie, lay, one verb, lie, lay, and laying. Another verb, lay, laid, laid. Here, this particular word, rules, that is a clue for you. The rules lay down strict norms on how it should be handled and stored. Lay, laid, laid. The rules lay down strict norms. Norms also means rules on how it should be handled and stored. Although it will take an inquiry to establish what caused the incident, the company and the state government knew, past form, that the chemical was hazardous, characterized by poor stability under a variety of conditions that could even lead to explosive situations. It may result in explosion, that's what it talks about. And this sentence talks about the company and the state government knew that the chemical was hazardous. When they knew it, definitely they're supposed to be very cautious and take the precautions. It is also reasonable to assume that the safety mechanism built into the storage structures of something so hazardous was either faulty or allowed to be overridden. This is what the editorial talks about. It is also reasonable to assume that when something is hazardous, it is reasonable to assume what? They have taken the precautions. It is also reasonable to assume that the safety mechanism built into the storage structures of something so hazardous was either faulty or allowed to be override. So here, they are supposed to take the precautions, but it looks like they haven't taken the precautions, they haven't followed the safety measures, and it was either faulty or allowed to be overridden. Because of that, this happened. Was the reopening work at the factory left to unskilled people, as some city officials have said? There's a question. Was the reopening work after the lockdown, reopening work at the factory, was it left to unskilled people, which resulted in this unfortunate incident, as some city officials have said? These aspects must be probed in the inquiry to fix accountability. To make someone responsible, they have to probe. Probe means what? Investigate. The Andhra Pradesh government must focus immediately on the medical needs of those who have been grievously affected by the gas leak, which has inevitably led to comparisons with the 1984 Bhopal gas disaster. Now, when this happened yesterday, a lot of people, they tried to compare this with the 1984 Bhopal gas disaster. But that was on a larger scale, compared to this one, larger scale. So this talks about that. The Andhra Pradesh government must focus immediately on what? The medical needs of those who have been grievously affected by the gas leak, which has inevitably, inevitable means likely to happen, and imminent, impending, all these words you have to recollect, led to comparisons with the 1984 Bhopal gas disaster. As a harmful chemical, styrene could have chronic effects beyond the immediate symptoms. What is the negative impact of this chemical, styrene? Immediate impact, we saw yesterday, a lot of people died and many of them got affected. But in the long run, as a harmful chemical, styrene could have, there's a helping verb here, it talks about possibility but less chances. It could have chronic effects. Chronic means lasting for a long time, long lasting. Chronic effects beyond the immediate symptoms. International safety literature cites it, quotes it as a substance that may cause cancer. Possibility, may cause. There's a possibility. There is thus no safe limit for exposure to it. That means we are not supposed to get exposed to it. Not at all advisable. Solatium payments and compensation for the victims and families are important. Solatium means compensation, to compensate. but so is. This expression is very important. Something is important, so is something else. But so is access to the highest quality of health care for the victims. Access to the highest quality of health care for the victims. Those who got affected, they should get the highest quality of health care. What happened in Gopalpatnam is also a warning for industries across India. What is that warning? Although some may see the incident as a consequence of the lockdown, the states have the authority under the central government's orders to exempt process industries. They can exempt the process industries. There's a provision, it seems. How does the editorial end? It needs no special emphasis that safety of industrial chemicals requires continuous watch with no scope for waivers. Whenever we deal with something that is hazardous, especially industrial chemicals, they demand continuous watch and no exceptions whatsoever with no scope for waivers. Waivers means usually it goes with a fee. If you take a typical student who studies in a university, he gets very good marks, then the university may waive off the tuition fee. Means forego, not to consider. As India aims for a wider manufacturing base, how does the editorial end? As India aims for a wider manufacturing base, it needs to strengthen its approach to public and occupational safety. When we try to go in for wider manufacturing base, we need to strengthen our approach towards public and occupational safety. Occupational safety means related to the profession. Transparent oversight is not a hurdle to industrial growth. Transparent oversight. Oversight has got two different meanings. One is positive, the other one is negative. In this context, it is positive. Transparent oversight, supervising something, is not a hurdle, it is not a block, it is not an impediment to industrial growth. It advances sustainable development by eliminating terrible mistakes. It advances what? Sustainable development by eliminating terrible mistakes. This one, it comes under terrible mistakes. That's all about the editorial. Let us see what is there to learn from vocabulary point of view. Toxic, poisonous, disaster, catastrophe or tragedy or mishap, unfortunate incident, prolonged, extended or continued, pass out in this context, to become unconscious suddenly, hazardous, dangerous, flee, run away or to escape, rendered, make, here it is in past, made, horrific, very bad and shocking, horrific incidents, stories, images. These are the typical collocations. Ditches, narrow channels. The word ditch as a noun, narrow channel, not deep, shallow. And as a verb, ditch someone. What does it mean? You use someone for some time and after that you leave that person. Then we use the word ditch. He has ditched me, she has ditched me. It goes with everyday English. Overridden, spread over, superseded, or not to consider something, override someone's decision. Grievously, very seriously. Chronic, it goes with diseases, chronic malaria, chronic TB, continuing for a long time, lasting for a long time. Solatium, important word, compensation. Waivers, claims, claim not to consider something. Word of the day, flea. There's one more flea, you got to be a little careful. What is the spelling of that? Flea. Flea means a bug without wings, which jumps, hops, bug. And there is another expression, flea market. In big cities, every Sunday, they organize flea markets. Flea market means a market where second-hand goods are sold. Now let us come to this flea, double E, not E-A-E-E. Run away from a place or situation of danger. To escape by running away, especially because of danger or fear. Two different meanings. And what are the word forms? Flee, verb, fled, flee, fled, fled. These are the forms. Adjective, fleeing, noun form. Word combinations, flee from a place, flee to a place. Flee from a place, flee to a place. Either way it is correct. Flee the city, flee the country. That is also right. Synonyms, disappear, vanish, fade. Not literally. Antonyms, arrive, break out, emerge. What is the example? Thousands of refugees fled across the border. Usually it goes with refugees, and whenever there is a disaster, people also, they flee from the place of danger. What is there to recollect from grammar point of view? The incident comes as a shock. Remember the expression comes as a shock. Present tense. to a nation struggling to cope with what? A prolonged lockdown, struggling to deal with, struggling to tackle something, struggling to cope with. Remember that expression. Several deaths took place. An incident took place. Several deaths took place as people tried to flee. Tried to do what? Tried to flee. Remember these two expressions. Deaths take place because of something. The rules lay down. This is very important. There are two verbs. One is lie, lay, and lain. This could be a regular verb. It could be an irregular verb. Lie, lied, to tell a lie. But lie, lay, lain means what? Two different meanings. One is to be in the horizontal position at the time of relaxing. Another meaning of that, to be in a particular state for a long time. But we have another verb, lay, laid, laid. This is the verb here, lay, laid. Means what? To put something down. And it goes with rules and regulations, roads, foundation stone, things, all these. Important one. It is also reasonable to assume that. It is also reasonable to assume that. Another expression you have to remember. These aspects must be probed. We must probe these aspects. These aspects must be probed. It is in passive voice. As a harmful chemical, styrene could have chronic effects. Could have. It talks about possibility, but chances are less. Chronic effects, not effects, effects. Remember, effect, it is used as a noun. Affect, verb, AFFECT. Chronic, that's an important word. What is the meaning of that? Lasting for a long time. But so is access. This is an important expression I want you guys to remember. So is. If I say, this book is important, so is that book. Look at the pattern. This book is very important. So is that book. So remember this expression. Something is important, but so is access to the highest quality of health care for the victims. Useful expressions are there. And what is a common error? Error number 7. I go to college by walk. A typical common error in our country. A lot of people say by walk. By walk is absolutely wrong. For that, what are the patterns? What can you say? I go to college on foot. This is right. I go to college walking. This is also right. And we have got in many editorials. Now I have seen, this is modern English, they started using by foot. We have seen in a few editorials. Generally, standard English on foot, by foot is also right. Third expression, by foot. But I would rather prefer on foot. I go to college on foot, I go to college walking. Do remember, this is also correct, absolutely correct. No second thoughts about that. What is there to learn from reading comprehension skill point of view? What is this editorial about? This is again a particular incident. It should not be difficult for you guys to write about this editorial. You have to write about the incident, what exactly happened. And any incident, we talk about cause and effect. What is the reason behind? What is the impact? And we always talk about a solution. This, whenever we talk about a particular incident, negative incident, we end the passage or the essay with a suggestion, with a remedy. So at the fag end of the passage or whatever you're going to write, you have to give a suggestion. Please excuse me. Sorry about that, and thank you. So you should write, it should be on a suggestive note. The end of the passage should be, there should be a remedy or a suggestion. It should end on a suggestive note. I have just given the broad framework because yesterday one student wanted me to give the answer for this. There are two possibilities. I will spend 1 minute. What is this editorial about? I can write and show you, that is one possibility. But I can ask you to write, that's what I have been doing. If I write and show, it is like spoon feeding, in my opinion. But if I tell you, write on your own, then you will develop the skill. Still, to respect that student's suggestion or request, I will try to present 1 or 2 editorials, the gist of the editorial. I will start doing that. Perhaps after that, you will get an idea how to write about the editorial in a nutshell. I will consider that particular thing. What are the other questions you can think of? What did the company and the state government know about the chemical? What did, here not new, know about the chemical? Explicit question, you can find the answer in the editorial. What must the Andhra Pradesh government focus immediately on? What must it focus immediately on? Again, easy to find out. How did several deaths take place, not took place? How did several deaths take place? Again mentioned in the editorial. What does India need to strengthen at this stage? What does India need to strengthen? Again mentioned in the editorial, at the fag end of the editorial. Now it is time for you guys to respond. Have a look at these words. First part of speech as usual. After that, the meaning of the word. I don't see anyone's response. And one student, I don't remember his name, yesterday I could not reply. If that student is in the group, in the live chat, at the outset, I would like to congratulate that student. It seems he got 183 in SSC out of 200, 183 English. That is outstanding. I would like to congratulate that student. Besides, though what I appreciate, what is good about that student, though he has got 183, he is not happy, he wants to get more, and he wants my suggestions. That is really appreciable. And imagine 183, not easy. Still, he wants to excel. He wants to get perhaps 190 plus or 195 plus. My suggestion to that student, I hope he is here, my suggestion, how to use these editorial sessions, as one of the students suggested. After the session, take all the words, have a look, try to consolidate, and try to make your own examples. That is very important. And your example should be practical and real. When you make examples, when you try to learn all these words, another suggestion, try to create word maps. I always recommend word maps. Take a theme. Now, natural disaster. What is this editorial about? Natural disaster. Natural disaster, take as a theme. Then you write, imagine you take this natural disaster as a theme. Develop the word map. What are the words that go with natural disaster? Write all the related words. That is the best way to learn or enrich your vocabulary. Not only enrich, also consolidate. Try to create as many word maps as you can. That is my suggestion. Besides, one more source. There's one book, Word Power Made Easy by Norman Lewis. You could spend time on that book, but usually that book goes with GRE, GMAT, and SAT. Bank exams, I don't recommend that. I don't know which exam you have been preparing. SSC also. SSC, to some extent, it is useful. That's what I would like to say. Now, a lot of students have responded. Toxic, which part of speech is it? They have gone to the second one. They're very fast. Nowadays, you guys are very fast. You're not giving a chance to the master to go off the track. One, it is, what is a part of speech? Give me a second. Toxic substance, obviously it has to be adjective. And what is the meaning of that? Poisonous. J is the answer. Now students have responded. The second one also, disaster. Noun, what is the meaning of that? Disaster. Oh, someone has gone to the fourth one. Disaster is not an adjective, it is a noun. And answer is D. Catastrophe, tragedy, mishap, unfortunate incident. You have to think of all these words. Pass out, you can easily make out. Pass out could be obviously it is a verb, it's a phrasal verb. Better you write phrasal verb. Sometimes we use phrasal verbs as nouns. Also write noun. Pass out. What is the meaning of that? In this context, suddenly become unconscious. Pass out means what? Suddenly become unconscious. For state public service commission exams and UPSC, are you asking from English point of view or some other subject point of view? I want you to be very clear. Based on the exam, I can recommend a particular book. Plea, part of speech, obviously, it's a verb. Plea, pled, pled. What is the meaning of that? Someone has written Vijay Mallya fled away. Flee away. Fled away. It should be in past. Flee, fled, fled. What part of speech is a verb? What is the meaning? G is the answer. Run away. Escape. Run away. Please, now I think we are at the same level. Fourth one, yes, it's a verb. And go to, yes, that's right. Word of the day. Lakshmi, you're right. Word of the day is what? Flee. So you can't afford to forget that one. Horrific. Horrific stories used in the editorial. We also use horrific images, horrific stories, horrific incidents. What is a part of speech? Obviously, it has to be adjective. Stories, noun, horrific stories. What is the meaning of that? Very bad and shocking. Answer is I. Very bad and shocking. Go to the sixth one. Override. Here the past participle, overridden. One of the meanings you have to find out, usually override someone's decision, override the policy, override the rules, means you don't consider, you keep them aside. In this context, what is the meaning of that? B, compensation. No, solatium means compensation. Here it means, waivers means claims. This is the one. A is the answer. Superseded. Spread over, don't consider that. I want you guys to consider supersede, superseded. Override, not to consider. Yes, a lot of people fled away because of that incident. Go to, you can easily make out which part of speech is the seventh one. Here it is override, it is a verb. And overridden, but it could be an adjective. Answer is A. And grievously, adverb, easy to make out because of ly. But do remember exceptions are there. A typical exception, the word fast. You cannot say fastly. There is no word like fastly. Fast is both an adjective and an adverb. What is the meaning of that? Seriously, very seriously. Answer is C. Now go to the eighth one. Chronic. Obviously, it has to be adjective. You have got this word many a time. Chronic disease. Very seriously. That's right. Chronic means chronic disease. Adjective. What is the meaning? Continuing for a long time. Answer is E. Lasting for a long time. Something exists or lasts or continues for a long time. We use the word chronic. Chronic disease. Solatium, noun. Compensation, noun. So it has to be a noun. What is the answer? B is the answer. What is the last word? Waive off, waiver, waivers. It has to be a noun. And you're left with only one word. Which one is that? F, claims. Useful words, important words, useful words. Let us go to spot the errors. Today I have brought 9 errors, I suppose, 9 sentences. Some of them are really difficult. Okay, you guys are still with words. Have a look at spot the errors exercise. Sentence number 1, where is the error? 8 is also good, Kiran. You should be happy. All the 10 parts of speech, Geetanjali, you should be happy. Parts of speech correct and Santosh also. Meanings correct, you should be extremely happy. Please go to this exercise, spot the errors. Where is the error? 8 persons, including an employee of NLC India Limited, was seriously injured. This is an important one from the exam point of view. What is the clue for you? Including. When you use words like including, include, as well as, along with, and not, all besides, in addition to, nothing but, no less than, with, together with, then there are 2 subjects. The verb agrees with the first subject. What are the 2 subjects here? Persons, employee. What is the first subject? Persons. That is plural. Then was is not correct. It should be were. 8 persons were seriously injured. That's right. Go to the second sentence. The unusually foggy dawn in summer surprised the early risers who predicted it is due to a fire accident nearby. Unusual, no, unusually it is right. Nothing wrong with that word. No, absolutely no problem. Surprising, a lot of students say unusual, no. Unusually foggy dawn, absolutely no problem. Unusually, here it is an adverb, and foggy dawn, foggy adjective, dawn noun. Yes, Lakshmi has got it right. One more student I see, Victoria. Here, suspected, the verb is in past. Then you cannot use the verb in present. It should be was, not is due to. Who suspected it was due to, not it is due to. When the verb is in past, the next verb also should be in past. They suspected. I thought it was true. We don't say I thought it is true. I thought in the past. The same way, who suspected it was due to. That's good. Now I see Madhavi and a lot of students have got it right. Kiran also has got it right. And Darling Sinu has got it right. Please go to the next one. As news spread and people indoors also suffered from nausea. Nausea means what? The feeling that you feel like vomiting. Then we use the word nausea. Dizziness. You feel everything is going round and round. We also use the word giddy. Giddiness, dizziness. The residents understood that something has gone horribly wrong. Excuse me. Yes, here understood. The verb is in past. Then you cannot say has gone. It should be had gone. Good. It is not has, it should be understood that something had gone. Go to the next one. Facing flack over cancellation. Flack means criticism. Facing criticism over cancellation of trains for migrant workers. Read the sentence, spot the error. Excuse me. Sentence number 4, where is the error? But they have used a definite article, the unusually, not the indefinite article. When we use a definite article, it doesn't matter. The word begins with a consonantal sound or a consonantal letter or a vowel sound or a vowel letter. It doesn't matter. A or an, you have to use that rule. A lot of students have responded. The 5th one, where is the error? I've just talked about this rule. COVID-19 safety protocols like physical distancing as well as the wearing of masks. Where is the error? A bit difficult. Yes, here, safety protocols like what? Like physical distancing as well as the wearing of masks. Here, physical distancing as well as the wearing of masks were thrown to the wind. Here, were thrown to the wind. Is it were or was? You have gone to the next one. Safety protocols like physical distancing as well as the wearing of masks were, what is the reason? Physical distancing as well as the wearing of mask was thrown to the wind. Go to the next one. when the bus services resume after the COVID-19 lockdown is lifted, state transport corporations shall encourage digital payments. Where is the error? Sentence number 6. 5 is over. Please go to the 6th one. I have written here, 5th one. Who is this? Kiran. I have written the answer was. Oh, really? Are you from Bombay? Shivakumar. Surprising. Okay. Back on the track. That's good. Please go to the, where is the error? 6th one. Yes, here, state transport corporations, shall is not correct. It should be will. We use shall with first person singular and plural, but here it is third person plural. We should not use shall, we should use will. It talks about future. Rules and regulations, yes, you can use shall irrespective of the subject. But here it talks about future. When it comes to future actions, first person singular and first person plural, you can use will or shall. But other pronouns, fourth one, what is the fourth one? Oh, fourth one you're talking about. Yes, we'll go to that. Let me complete this one. Here, shall is not correct. Will is correct. Fourth one, where is the error? I think you got this yesterday. I saw some students responding. Here, is it an U-turn or a U-turn? You got yesterday, if you remember. Excuse me. So, where is the error? Sentence number 4. It is not an U-turn, it is a U-turn. A U-turn. Fine. You got the answer for the fourth one, you got the answer for the fifth one, you got the answer for the sixth one. Let us go to the seventh one. Today you have got, you have to work on the close test, very challenging. You have to work on para jumble. So let us do it very fast. I will look at that one. What is it? All of you please don't attempt seventh one. I was thinking of that in fact. Here, I appreciate those students who have brought it to my notice. Safety protocols, don't consider after that. I should have taken this one. I was focusing more on these two because of the conjunction as well as. But here, what is the subject? Please listen to me. What is the subject? Sentence number 5. Safety protocols like physical distancing as well as wearing of masks. Here, don't consider this part. Consider the subject protocols. Safety protocols is not correct. Were is correct. Safety protocols were thrown to the wind. That means what? There is no error in this sentence. I appreciate those students who have brought it to my notice. I hope it's clear. Sentence number 5, what is the answer? Do respect. The fifth option, what is the fifth option? The fifth option is no error. Now, I hope those guys are happy. Thank you very much. Go to the seventh one. Please go to the seventh one. Where is the error? Respect fifth option. Yes, that's right, Srikanth. Please go to the next one. Why no response? The seventh one, not the sixth one. Who has brought it to my notice? Mahendra. Okay. I appreciate those who have brought it to my notice. Here, there is a clue for you. Regular classes also I tell the same. What is a clue? Ever since. When you see this expression ever since, that is one clue. And also in one clause you have where people left Tamil Nadu and have come into. Here you have present perfect. Here you cannot use past tense. So what is missing here? Over 26,000 people have left. have left Tamil Nadu and 2,000 odd persons have come into the state ever since. Because of this expression ever since, you should use present perfect. Both the clauses take present perfect. Have left, have come. Again, parallel expression. The word have is missing, so it should be have left, have come. Please go to the next one. Thousands of migrant workers from Bengaluru, a majority of them young men in their 20s and 30s, have begun their long trek home to Uttar Pradesh and other states in North India by walk. This is easy. You have got this today. So, by walk is not correct. On foot. On foot. But of late, we have seen a few editorials. They have used by foot. Personally, in my opinion, on foot, standard English, prefer and stick to on foot. Go to the last sentence. Where is the error? This is the most important. If you get this right, you should be very happy. Exam point of view, this is very important. Eighth one is rather easy, should not be a problem. If you get the ninth one, no, has is correct. Nothing wrong with has. No, that is not the issue. Nothing wrong with has. Strictly speaking, it should be had, but don't consider that the sentence has been taken from the newspaper. Don't focus on this. There is an error, and that is very important. Yes, who is this? Harsha has got it right. One word is missing. Which word? This is the most important word from the exam point of view. Accede has got two different meanings. Please listen very carefully. Accede, one meaning, to agree. And when you try to convey that meaning, we have to use a preposition to. So acceded to a proposal. What is missing here? To is missing. I appreciate that, student Harsha. Acceded to a proposal. Without to, it is not correct. And what is the second meaning of accede? To assume power or authority. When we convey that meaning, we should not use a preposition to. The prince acceded the throne. You should not say, the prince acceded to the throne. That is not correct. The prince acceded the throne. There, no preposition, but accede to a proposal, agreed. Then you have to use a preposition to. Very important. They have given in many exams. Now, listen to me carefully. Close test. You see 6 words in yellow color, and these are related to, they're not in the correct position. Some of them, you have to go in for word swapping. Already have got a similar exercise. Word swapping. How many pairs have to be swapped and what are they? Quite challenging, this one. You got to understand the context, only then you will be able to. Oh, you have responded already. You have to write 2 words. Combat. If you say combat, what is the other word? You have to swap the words. Yes. Combat and contain. Here, then we have to write combat and contain. That is one pair. Strategy to combat the COVID-19 pandemic. The nationwide lockdown has been central to the government strategy to combat the COVID-19 pandemic. And here, while the lockdown has helped contain community spread, restrict community spread. So these two, one I'll use as A, B, C, D, E, F. Here you have to swap A, D. What is the second pair you're supposed to swap? Now you can write the letters. Yes, supply chains. What is a clue for you? You have to see the words, nouns or expressions, concepts. Supply chain, what is a regular word that goes with the supply chain? Disruption. So here, terminated, not correct. Disruption, disrupted, correct. And contracts, terminated, ended. What are you supposed to do? B, C. What is the second pair? B, C. Now go to the next one. BC also you have to change. These two, do you think you have to change these two? Evaded soundness so far, legislative scrutiny. Obviously, EF, you have to change. What is the third pair? EF. Evaded what? Scrutiny so far, not soundness. Evaded, escaped scrutiny so far. And what is the last word? We assess its underlying legislative soundness, to what extent it is good. Has anyone got all correct? You should be very happy. Now go to the next one quickly. It's already 9. Have a look at, today it may take plus or minus 10 minutes. Plus only, not minus. So have a look at this parajumble. Yes, legislative soundness means to what extent it is good, to what extent it is correct, to what extent it can be justified. Generally we say, someone takes a decision, we say, is it a sound decision? Is your decision sound? Means what? Nothing to do with the sound. Sound decision means correct decision. Legislative soundness means legislative correctness. That is a meaning. Please go to the parajumble. First one is B, that's right. I think it has started buffering. Okay, thank God it has stopped. What is the second one? Bhavana says to C. Okay. Whoever responds first, I'm going to write that. What is the third one? 1B, 2C. What is the third one? China and US, right now, a lot of things have been going on. Bitter fight, bitter arguments, bickering, all that. 3 is what? D, that's right. What is the next one? What is the fourth one? Fourth one, third one is not A. Fourth one is E. And what is the fifth one? A is the fifth one. So what is the correct order? B, C, D, E, A. This is the correct order. Sometimes you will come across something like this. It takes a lot of time, Shiv Kumar. Actually, I thought of bringing closed test also, each blank different 4 or 5 words. But it takes a lot of time. Even here, I can give questions like, which is the first one, which is the second. That takes a lot of time. Now we are hard pressed for time. I would love to do something like that. I'm only worried about the time factor. See, now it is 9:03. We have to still work on phrasal verbs, idioms, and 10 words, what you have already learned. What is the word here? Word map, solatium. Important word. Compensation, easy. Indemnity, an important word you have to remember. And quittance, easy. Still you have to remember. Recoupment, important word. Damages, easy. Consolation, easy. Remember these 4 words. Now let us go to phrasal verbs. Try to recollect quickly. Write the meanings. No. Thank you for understanding. Divide into smaller parts. Based on the example you tell. Break down. Thrice you have to. But which example goes with this meaning? Divide into smaller parts. Now it is not buffering. It buffered a few minutes, but not now. So divide into smaller parts. What is it? Yes, C is the answer. Our teacher broke the final project down into 3 separate parts. That's right. Stop functioning. This you have got many a time. Breakdown. Stop functioning. A is the answer. Our car broke down at the side of the highway in the snowstorm. And what is get upset? The third breakdown. Yes, 1C, 2B. What is 3? 3 is not B. The woman broke down, got upset. Yes, that's right. Our teacher broke the final project down into 3 separate parts, into smaller parts. My car broke down, stopped functioning, and the woman broke down, got upset. Interrupt. What is the fourth one? The TV station broke in to report the news of the president's death. Here it is E. To enter by force. Somebody broke in last night and stole our stereo. D is the answer. But here we also use, in place of in, you can also use into. Break into also means to enter by force. Please go to the idioms. You can see the idioms here. Learn the ropes, hanging by a thread, got a pink slip, moving up in the world, all in a day's work. So please answer quickly. In great danger of failure. What is the answer? Yes, they are easy today. Be happy. In great danger of failure, B is the answer. Your job is hanging by a thread. You really need to improve and become more familiar. 2A, that's right. Learn the ropes, become more familiar. Learn something quickly. A layoff notice. This is easy, right? Right now it is in the limelight. 3C. Got a pink slip. That is right. What is the next one? It is part of what I'm expected to do. Fourth one is all in a day's work. It is E. And what is the last one? You are left with only one, D. You're driving a Lexus now. I can see you're moving up in the world, become more successful. You should be very happy. That means you remember what you have learned already. Your knowledge has been consolidated. And after the session, you spend a few minutes, definitely you will be able to remember. Now we have only, it is 9:07. We'll spend 3 minutes. Dispensation. Dispensation. What is the meaning of that? I want you guys to respond quickly because you have learned all these words and you should not take a lot of time. Thank you. Please have a look at the last exercise. It's already 9:07. Dispensation, dispense something, dispensation of something. Little bit easy. Yes, sometimes it should be easy to motivate you guys. 1G. Contribute? No. What is the meaning of dispensation? Oh, really? D, that's right. Dispensation means what? Get rid of. Dispense. Get rid of. Oh, really? That's interesting. Which exam are you preparing for, Shivakumar? Civil services or some other exam? I'm rather curious. You're not preparing for bank exams. I would like to know which exam. If you say I'm not preparing for any exam, that will be really a pleasant surprise. Then I will appreciate you more because you are looking for enrichment. You want to improve your language proficiency. That is highly appreciable. Please read down. This is a bit difficult. G is the answer, contribute. Other words are rather easy. Disenchantment means what? What is the answer for the third one? I don't think it is buffering. 3F, what is F? Disappointment, right? Alacrity, important word. What is the meaning of alacrity? Fourth one, readiness, that is also right. B. Persistent, what is the meaning of persistent? Persist, I think you got this word yesterday. Persist means what? Continuous. H is the answer, persistent. No buffering, it is not at... oh, that's really interesting. Okay. Still I appreciate. Good. Please go to the next one. Encroach. Encroach means what? Intrude. Encroachments. Generally we use it in the noun form, plural form. Encroachments. They are trying to remove the encroachments. Encroach, intrude. Confer. Confer means what? Answer is J. Grant. J is the answer. Robust. Robust, an important word. J here. Robust means what? Vigorous. You can also think of the word strong. Robust means strong, healthy, vigorous. And patronage. Patronage means what? Support. E is the answer. And what is the last word you're left with? Abrogation. Abrogation means what? Repeal. You're left with A. That is the answer. Has anyone got all the 10 correct? This exercise. I'm rather curious. If you say, sir, I got all the 10 correct, I will definitely appreciate that particular student. Not easy, especially redound, not a regular word, not easy to recollect. Other words should not be a problem. That's it for today. Have a nice day. I'll see you tomorrow, weekend, Saturday, with another editorial to enrich your language proficiency. Thank you very much. I am in Hyderabad. I am not in Visakhapatnam. Right now, I'm in Hyderabad, the state capital. I belong to Visakhapatnam, born and brought up. Okay. Have a nice day. Thank you very much.